And you said something very controversial, a lot of controversy.
I don't know that it's controversial.
It's not new news that Samuel L. Jackson has been purporting Mace Windu is alive. But recently on The Tonight Show, when asked about it, he went a little overboard, and it's got me thinking.
Well, yeah, I mean, on Halloween alone, people dress like four different types of Samuel L. Jacksons.
Well, you got Mace Windu, you got Nick Fury.
Yeah,
Jules, for sure. Yeah, a lot of Jules out there.
Oh, speaking of Mace Windu, by the way, you just did an interview recently talking about Star Wars and Mace Windu, and you said something very controversial, a lot of controversy.
I don't know that it's controversial. I mean, there's a long history of one-armed, one-handed people in the Star Wars universe. So
that is interesting.
Just because they cut my arm off and I fell out a window doesn't mean I'm dead.
Yeah.
Just mean I'm a Jedi. The second most powerful Jedi in the universe, next to Yoda. So
you think Mace Windu is still alive?
Yeah, he's out there. Yeah, he's out there walking the earth with Jules.
Yeah. Mace Windu, the purple lightsaber wielding Samuel L. Jackson, a fan favorite from the prequel trilogy, who was shot with Force lightning and thrown out a window after having his arm cut off. But he's not dead. Or at least that's what Samuel L. Jackson believes, and a lot of other fans feel the same way. I mean, 3 years ago, it was Star Wars Theory who made kind of a fan edit short film around Mace Windu still being alive, so it shouldn't be a surprise that this is a theory that's been out there for a while, but it's starting to make more noise. Back in February of 2024, around the 25th anniversary of the prequel trilogy, Samuel L. Jackson said this. He said, "He's not dead." And when asked if he would want to be involved in a Disney Plus show involving Mace Windu, he said everything yes. But what if that Disney Plus show was recently turned into a movie?
At Star Wars Celebration 2023, Dave Filoni announced a dedicated movie that would bring the Mandoverse together. And then came the big news. Disney announced the production of the film The Mandalorian and Grogu.
So here's what I think could very well be happening behind the scenes. Is it possible that Samuel L. Jackson will reprise his role as Mace Windu in the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Because it was on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon when he was there really to be talking about his new movie that's coming out. He gets asked a Star Wars question because he can't get away from it because he wants to do Star Wars. And this needs to happen in some capacity. I just don't understand if the actor wants to do it. And many of the fans would love to see it. Why have we not reprised this role? There are so many others that have survived maybe even worse situations than what Mace Windu did. We've seen that Darth Maul had come back after being cut in half and thrown down. I mean, don't get me started on Palpatine, but at least maybe that could be something good that comes out of all of this. If Palpatine survived, why can't Mace Windu? We've seen Luke Skywalker have his hand cut off and fall down and jump down and be okay. So it could also be Mace Windu. Now you might be saying, well, it's because of the Force lightning. He got shocked with Force lightning. Okay, so did Luke. And Luke survived? Again, I think it's very possible that Mace Windu is alive. The challenge that sits before us then is what was going on during the time from the prequels until and through all of the original trilogy. Where was Mace Windu during that time? Was he off in hiding? What was he doing? I think there's a way to explain some of this, and it might even be that he could come back as one who had maybe been protecting Grogu when Grogu was gone. Though I don't think that that would be a very good solution, but there's others. Now, hear me out. There's so many things that you could do, but the possibilities of Mace Windu being out there and then being found in some way, maybe he shows up in the Skeleton Crew when you've got all these kids searching all throughout the galaxy and they maybe stumble upon an old Mace Windu. Now, I don't really think that's going to happen. I have a feeling there some internet sleuthing would have found out if Samuel L. Jackson had been part of that skeleton crew cast. I don't know that they would have been able to keep that as silent, but maybe one can hope. Either way, I think there's a possibility that he could be out there in the universe and maybe brought into the Mando and Grogu movie. Now, again, I don't have anything to confirm this. I'm not saying I'm reporting on something that isn't just maybe just grasping at straws to get me to be interested in that movie more. I don't know. So the question is, well, then what could he be doing? Why would he be gone? Well, I think the answer actually comes out of the Jedi Survivor video game. We've seen that Bacta tanks can do great things for healing, and we've seen in that video game that you can be in a Bacta tank for years and years and years. And if you haven't played the video game, here's what happened. Dagan Gera spent 100 years in a Bacta tank. Dagan Gera is a former Jedi who turned to the dark side and ended up being put in a Bacta tank for, actually, correct that, 200 years. And then he ends up being let out of that after a battle. And so it is possible that where could Mace Windu be? He could be in hiding, and he could have been in a Bacta tank this entire time, maybe to be found by Mando and Grogu, or I've seen some others talking about how maybe he gets found by these children in the skeleton crew. As much as I want that to be the case, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to be the way that this goes. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. Would the idea of bringing Mace Windu back into the Mandoverse, I hate that name. We got to come up with something else. But into the Mandoverse, would that be something you'd be interested in? Or is this all just too much nostalgia bait? We just need to move on and forget about Mace Windu altogether. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for being here. If you were here all the way to the end, please hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, the Force will be with you always.